listen to Creative Space on Omega Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Your host, Catherine Shapiro. And good morning to everyone out there in Omega Radio land. This is your host, Catherine Shapiro, with a wonderful, wonderful creative space today. And a wonderful word of the day from our usual partner in spirit, for sure, Jeanette Jordan. Hello, Miss Jeanette. How are
Hello.
you doing today?
Hi, how are you?
I am
Good
great.
morning.
Good morning and happy
Um, yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
happy day to you, my friend.
It just happens that our word for the day is bless somebody. It reminds me of that song that says, bless somebody. You ever heard of that song?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. And it comes from Galatians 6:9. It says, and let us not lose heart and grow weary and faint in acting nobly and doing right. For in due time and at the appointed season we shall reap if we do not loosen and relax our courage and faint. So then the word says, let each one of us make it a practice to please, make happy his or her neighbor for his good or for his true welfare, to edify him or her, to straighten him and build him or her up spiritually, Romans 15:2.
Mm-hmm.
This tells me that we need to have our mind full of ways to bless people. Early in the day, think of something you want to do to bless someone. Think up something you can do to surprise somebody or make somebody happy. You will be amazed at how quickly the Lord leads you to something good you can do for someone.
Absolutely.
Joy comes from giving in his behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that great?
Absolutely. Yes, it really is. And you know, the neat thing about our faith tradition is that in Jewish tradition, there are blessings for just about everything. There's blessings
Mhm.
before meals. There's blessings when you see a rainbow. And what it says
Mhm.
is, praise be to God who has created the rainbow and the eternal covenant with Abraham. And he will always be there for all of us. And you
Mhm.
wonder why God needs so much praise. I think
I don't. No. Go ahead.
I think it's because people need to see us praising God through our lives and our practice. That's what I
Yes,
think. It's not for him.
and that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true. We always, like today, love is really shining in the day today. I always say the devil don't like this day because everybody's loving up on each other. But see, if you do that every day to everybody
Mm-hmm.
and you love on them, and there is a thing as unconditional love. You live it, I live it.
Mm-hmm.
We have these beautiful husbands of ours that treat us correctly. And I always say when you put God in the center of the relationship, that's when it works.
That's
Because
absolutely true.
one of us, they always say the woman has the wisdom. One of us has to say, hey, baby.
Well, I think each
So it's so
partner
funny.
keeps each other honest. I keep
Yeah,
my hubby honest, and he keeps me honest all the time.
that's right.
And it
Yep,
helps to have
100%.
accountability towards being a better person. And
Yes,
the blessings that
yes,
we give each other and the praise that we give each other is often the
yes.
best way for people to see God.
That is so true. When you tell your husband, "Oh, don't you look handsome today? Where you going?" and you start, being all cute, and he'll tell you the same thing back, or even little small gestures. Like I know my husband and I are synced because for some reason I'm sitting down watching TV, and man, I felt like an Oreo cookie. And wouldn't you know, he comes with a little bag of Oreo cookies, and I'm like,
That is
you
so
know
funny
me.
how people you really know and really love can read you as well as they do, and they
Yes,
still like you
isn't that
anyway.
funny?
hmm I've
Oh
always
my
said that my
gosh.
best friends and the people I love and the soulmate that we're all going to have
Mhm.
is the one who knows all our faults and still loves us
Yes.
anyway. And that's very much like God. God knows us from the womb,
Yes.
and He knows
It
how
is a hundred
creative we're
percent.
going to be in His behalf. So
Yeah, look what he did with me and you. He put you in my path.
He sure did. I would have walked right on by, I'm telling you. And the coolest thing about being on the same path and partnering with each other is you can lift
Mhm.
each other up. Why don't you
Yes.
tell us about your latest endeavor? Because I think that is a great way to let people know how to bless each other as well.
Yes. Okay. So my latest endeavor is that every Friday at what is it, 12 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, I have a show for to help endeavor crafters and beautiful artists. And this Friday, we have a guest that's going to be on our show, and it is Catherine Shapiro is going to be a guest on our show,
Mm.
and it is a live show, and I am so happy to just have her with me where we can see each other and we are always building each other up. So for me, this is my way of showing her love back because of what she has done that we get to have the word on here and just she showed me love that it comes to a point where you have to give love back. And the first thing I did was call her and say, hey, can you please come on our show because I think you're fantastic.
And I
And
would
she said yes, so
absolutely
you have to
love
join us
to.
this Friday.
Absolutely will do. And I am so looking forward to it. We are artists and friends now for, golly, feels like a lot longer than it actually
Yes,
is. And
it
we
is.
are so looking forward to seeing you down here in April when you decide to relocate to Florida.
Yes, I am eager. It's 2 months away. I'm halfway ready already. My husband keeps telling me, "Don't sell everything. We'll be sleeping on the floor." You know. So,
That's the thing
you
about moving.
know.
You always end up in boxes and bags and God knows what for a few weeks until you get yourself together. And I tell you
That's
what,
right.
mm-hmm.
And it's wonderful. But I'm so eager because I want to go see everybody down there, and I think the Lord has me on a certain walk, and where I'll be able to help people as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
the show is basically about helping people and blessing people,
Mm-hmm.
just like you have people that come on your show and you help and you bless them and you talk about them. Our show is the same thing. Basically, we're helping crafters know how to business. So basically, the show is called Having Fun with J and J Show, and the reason is weird because it's me and my partner Jenny and Jeanette, and then this Friday we're gonna have Jenny and Jeanette and Catherine.
I
So
am
I'm very
so glad
happy
to be your
to
first guest.
yes, and she's our first guest, so she had to be the first one.
No,
She had to be the first one.
I was so delighted. And what the neat thing about it is that it's live and
Mhm.
you have set it up so that anyone who is a crafter can contact you and get lots of good information and lots of tips about leading a more creative life and the way we
Yeah, and it's
bless
also about
each other.
helping people. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's about helping people being successful too, because so many crafters. Remember when you had that show that you said that it's so hard to really get the name out there. We don't know what they're out there. And
Right.
I have to tell you what has happened real quick. The show was the second episode was on Friday, and we invited people guests over. And the Lord has blessed that we're booked out till April.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. I am
Yeah,
so
I was
glad to
booked
hear
out until
that.
April, and I was so shocked. And we had like 3,000 views. It was amazing. I said, okay, you know what? This is definitely something that I want to help people, because when you put love in the center of what you're doing to help others and not yourself,
Absolutely.
because it's not really about me, it's not really
Mm-mm.
about Jen,
No.
it's about you, it's about everybody who is just trying to be a blessing to others.
Mhm.
So that's what I feel, that God is in the center of it. When God is in the center of everything, He blesses the hands and the works of people. And
Absolutely.
blessing comes to you too, Catherine, because you are a marvelous person for just letting me say the word of the day, which is marvelous because that is so important that people need to hear. And I'm so happy that you let me be part of your show to bless and say the word of the day, and that really touches my heart. Sometimes I get teary because
I am
it's a passion
so
of mine to be with you.
honored by that. I truly am. I'm very honored by that. And one of the great things they have said about Abraham is that his word and his name became a blessing. And yours is a blessing, and you are a blessing to all the artists out there you're trying to help. And it is a thing of service to give praise because you never know what somebody is going through at any given time. When you ask,
Yeah.
how are you? That's a blessing. That's an opportunity. That's a praise.
Yeah.
And when you say that, be ready because sometimes you'll get more of an answer than you ever wanted or asked for.
Yeah, it's true. You're not ready. When you open the gates up to have people and you help people with whole heart, it's like you're not ready when God says He throws you in abundance. I think small. We all when we're doing things, we think small.
Mm-hmm.
But God says, no, put me in it, and you'll see how big and abundant it will happen. And it's like, whoa. So it's been a great experience how God is always blessing and just putting creative people in the right places at the right time, especially when you have Him in the center of everything.
And we
You know?
are at the center of our show. It's 11:11, the magic hour,
Mm.
where I basically say, you all have a choice. Either you believe in miracles and you choose to live your life like you do, or you don't. That's
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
choice. And our good friend Einstein, who was a scientist of the highest order, who believed in logic and experimentation and evolution and development of deep thought, that he was fascinated with faith and religion and the whole idea that there are things above us and beyond us that we do not understand and we may not ever. But it is not our
Mhm.
job to stop trying. And it is
Mhm.
not our job to say, leave this job to somebody else because somebody else
Mhm.
might take care of it. Uh-uh. I've
No.
always said,
It's
don't look at the guy next
yeah.
to you. Look at yourself. See what
That's
you
right.
can do first.
Yeah, and that's what I think a lot of people get afraid of, just stepping out of their comfort zone and being successful. And if you don't have the urge, if you don't put yourself out there to do it, and don't let the devil scare you, because scary is only but the devil and scary. But if you throw yourself out there, Catherine, and watch it bloom. You just
Mm-hmm.
have to be confident in yourself and just do it. I like that commercial, the Nike commercial. Just do it. Just
That's
do
the
it.
truth. Yeah. I remember that from when I was a lot younger. And one of the things that they've
Uh-huh.
always said is don't stop. Do one thing,
Mhm.
start with one thing, and keep moving. Move on to the next thing.
Mhm.
And you
Mhm.
end up
Mhm.
getting a lot further than you think. Abraham didn't know
Mm.
where he was going, but God told him which way to go. And he said, go there, and I will keep a covenant with you that will last into eternity. And that is what has happened for us, and what happens today, and what will continue to happen. But every generation has to fight for that and believe in that and love that. Otherwise, a covenant
Mhm.
doesn't work. You can't have
That's
one
right.
partner doing everything and the other one doing nothing. Some days somebody
That's
needs
right.
90% from you, and some days they need 10%. It just depends.
That's right.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So we are in the last minute of our show today, but I wanted to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. I hope you are safe, warm, and dry, especially with the warm, because we've got quite some storms in our East Coast neighbors. And welcome our new
Mhm.
listeners in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. We are so happy you're here. In the meantime, we'll see you next week. Be good to each other.
From all the pain, I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful, beautiful.
Tune in and listen to Creative Space on Omega Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Your host, Catherine Shapiro.
16 minutes down past the hour of 11 a.m. You're tuned in to the Station of the Stars. Keep it locked in right here for a regular scheduled program.
With my own,